Welcome to an extended journey through Scotland's mysterious history in Witches of the Past, unveiling Scotland's dark secrets. In this immersive experience, we'll delve deep into the chilling annals of witchcraft, unveiling untold stories and hidden chronicles that will leave you captivated. Join us as we explore the enigmatic world of witches who danced on the edge of the supernatural, the accused and the accusers. Our voyage begins with the North Berwick witch trials, one of the most infamous witch hunts in Scottish history. In the late 16th century, fear and paranoia gripped the land. Accused witches, like Agnes Sampson and Gillis Duncan, faced accusations of conspiring with the devil and wreaking havoc on the kingdom. Agnes Sampson, excerpt from King James VI's Demonology. Agnes Sampson, a confessed witch, confessed that the devil had asked her to deny her baptism and the works of God, and she gave her soul to the devil, and took him for her God. Excerpt from trial records of Agnes Sampson. Agnes Sampson, a midwife, confessed to meeting with the devil and conspiring to harm the king. She admitted to attending sabbats and participating in rituals involving the devil's mark on her body. Excerpt from contemporary pamphlet of the time. Agnes Sampson, once known as a midwife and healer, has confessed to the most vile witchcraft and consorting with the devil. She stands accused of casting malevolent spells and causing storms at sea. Gillis Duncan, excerpt from George Sinclair's account. Gillis Duncan, a woman of humble station, confessed that she had been compelled by the devil to engage in witchcraft. She spoke of flying on sieves, attending sabbats, and renouncing her Christian faith. Excerpt from trial records of Gillis Duncan. Gillis Duncan, a maidservant, confessed to being part of a coven of witches and meeting with the devil. She spoke of her participation in dark rituals and causing harm to others through magical means. Gillis Duncan and Agnes Sampson, once known as healers and caretakers, have confessed to dealings with dark powers. They are accused of bringing storms and curses upon the king and his kingdom. These excerpts provide a glimpse into the accusations and confessions of Agnes Sampson and Gillis Duncan during the North Berwick witch trials. They reflect the prevailing beliefs and attitudes of the time, as well as the nature of the accusations against the accused witches. Trial records of Agnes Sampson. Agnes Sampson, a midwife who had once been respected in her community, stood before the court, accused of heinous acts of witchcraft. Her trial records, though incomplete, reveal a chilling narrative of confessions and accusations. In her testimony, Agnes Sampson confessed to a series of grotesque practices, implicating herself and others in the vilest of crimes. She described meetings with the devil, where she, along with other accused witches, pledged their loyalty to the infernal forces. Agnes acknowledged renouncing her Christian faith, openly declaring allegiance to Satan. She spoke of sabbats, gatherings in the dead of night where they engaged in unholy rituals. Perhaps most chilling of all was Agnes Sampson's description of the devil's mark on her body. She detailed how the devil had marked her as one of his own by imprinting a spot on her skin. This mark was believed to be a source of supernatural power. As the trial unfolded, Agnes Sampson's confessions intensified. She admitted to casting malevolent spells upon those who had crossed her path, causing harm to infants and orchestrating storms at sea. Her detailed accounts, though shocking, were consistent with the prevailing beliefs about witchcraft at the time. The court, fueled by a fervor to root out witchcraft, accepted these confessions as proof of guilt. Agnes Sampson, once a healer and midwife, now faced the darkest of fates. Her conviction would ultimately lead to her execution, a grim chapter in the history of the North Berwick witch trials. These trial records offer a glimpse into the accusations and confessions that led to Agnes Sampson's tragic fate, shedding light on the intense climate of fear and superstition during the witch trials of the late 16th century. Agnes Sampson, one of the accused witches in the North Berwick witch trials, met a tragic fate. After being subjected to a trial that included severe torture to extract confessions, she was found guilty of witchcraft and heresy. Her punishment was in line with the harsh penalties imposed on those convicted of witchcraft during that era. Agnes Sampson was strangled and then her lifeless body was burned at the stake. This was a common form of execution for those accused of witchcraft in the 16th century. The punishment was not only meant to end the life of the accused, but also to destroy any perceived connection with the devil and cleanse society of the perceived malevolence associated with witches. It's important to note that Agnes Sampson's fate was shared by many accused witches during this period, as the witch hunts and trials were marked by fear, superstition, and a strong belief in the existence of witches. Today, her story serves as a grim reminder of the dark history of witch hunts and the persecution of those accused of witchcraft in the past. Trial records of Gillis Duncan, a maidservant of humble station, found herself ensnared in the witchcraft hysteria that gripped North Berwick in the late 16th century. Her trial records, though partial, provide a glimpse into the accusations and confessions that ultimately led to her tragic fate. During her trial, Gillis Duncan confessed to engaging in acts of witchcraft. She spoke of her involvement in a coven of witches, where she and others consorted with the devil and renounced their Christian faith. These confessions were likely made under duress and the severe torture methods employed during witch trials. Gillis recounted attending sabbats, gatherings held in the dead of night where witches were believed to engage in diabolical rituals. She described her participation in these dark ceremonies, where they allegedly paid homage to the devil and conspired against the monarchy. Perhaps one of the most troubling aspects of Gillis Duncan's testimony was her admission to using magical means to cause harm to others. She claimed to have flown on sieves through the night sky, participated in malicious spells, and wielded supernatural powers. Gillis Duncan's trial records indicate that her confessions were consistent with the prevailing beliefs about witchcraft during that time. Her statements, made under the pressure of the trial, would ultimately lead to her conviction. Like many accused witches of her era, Gillis Duncan faced a grim fate. She, too, was strangled and then burned at the stake, a common method of execution for those convicted of witchcraft during the North Berwick witch trials. Her tragic story is a testament to the fear and superstition that marked the witch hunts of that period. Gillis Duncan, one of the accused witches in the North Berwick witch trials, met a tragic fate. After being subjected to a trial and confessing to witchcraft-related activities, which were often extracted through torture and duress, she was found guilty of witchcraft and heresy. Gillis Duncan's punishment was in line with the harsh penalties imposed on those convicted of witchcraft during the late 16th century. She was strangled and then her lifeless body was burned at the stake. This form of execution was a common method used for those accused of witchcraft during this period. Gillis Duncan's fate serves as a somber reminder of the grim history of witch hunts and the persecution of individuals accused of witchcraft during this era. But our journey doesn't end there. The North Berwick trials were just one chapter in Scotland's tumultuous history. From the Orkney Islands to the Highlands and beyond, tales of witches whispered in the wind. Among the mysterious Orkney Islands, a group of women faced accusations of conspiring with malevolent forces. Their story, shrouded in mist and legend, haunts the remote islands to this day. The Last Witch of Shetland is a title often associated with Elspeth Rioch, a notable figure from the Orkney Islands witch trials, who faced accusations of witchcraft during the late 17th century. Elspeth Rioch and the group of women who faced accusations in that period. Elspeth Rioch was a woman from Shetland who became known as the Last Witch of Shetland. She is one of the most well-known individuals from the Orkney Islands witch trials. Accusations against Elspeth Rioch included practicing witchcraft, causing harm to livestock, and entering into pacts with the devil. Like many accused witches of her time, she faced a trial, and her confession was likely extracted through torture. Ultimately, she was convicted of witchcraft. In the Orkney Islands, during the late 17th century, a number of women faced accusations of witchcraft. These accusations were often based on claims of malevolent magic, harming of animals, and other supernatural activities. Marion Richard and Jonet Rendell were among those accused. While specific details about their cases are limited, they are notable figures from these trials. Detailed trial records for the accused women are often limited, and historical documents related to these trials are not as extensive as in some other witch trials in Scotland. Convictions in the Orkney Islands, witch trials typically led to severe punishments, such as strangulation followed by burning at the stake. Now we delve into the story of Alexander Warlock Bell, a name etched in the dark annals of the Orkney Islands' history. In the late 17th century, a man named Alexander Bell, and a sinister reputation as the Warlock of the Orkney Islands. Accused of practicing witchcraft, Bell's story is a haunting chapter in the witch trials of the time. Alexander Bell faced accusations of being a male witch, a warlock. He was accused of practicing dark magic, harming livestock, and causing illness. These allegations were not uncommon during the witch trials of the late 17th century, a time when superstition and fear ran deep. Like many accused witches, Bell faced a trial. However, the details of this trial and its outcome remain shrouded in history. Witch trials often involved extreme interrogation methods and coercion, which could lead to confessions, whether true or not. Today, Alexander Warlock Bell's story serves as a grim reminder of a dark period in Orkney Islands history. While the specifics of his case may be lost to time, his name endures as a symbol of the fear and superstition that marked the witch hunts of the past. Now we uncover the mysterious story of Isabel Haldane's Coven, a shadowy group from 16th century Perthshire, Scotland, entangled in the world of witchcraft. Isabel Haldane's name became synonymous with the occult in her homeland of Perthshire, Scotland. Accused of leading a coven of witches, her story is a haunting reminder of a dark chapter in Scottish history. Join us as we venture into the world of Isabel Haldane and her enigmatic coven. Isabel Haldane was a woman accused of being a witch, and her alleged coven was said to be practicing the black arts. The accusations against her and her coven included practicing malevolent magic, causing illness, and conspiring against the kingdom. During this time, witch hunts and trials were a dark reality in Scotland. Superstition and fear fueled the pursuit of those deemed witches. Accusations led to trials, and these trials often involved harsh interrogation methods, torture, and confessions, whether genuine or not. The secrets of Isabel Haldane's coven remain shrouded in mystery. Were they truly practitioners of the dark arts, or were they scapegoats of a paranoid society? Their rituals and gatherings have left behind tantalizing traces in the historical record. Isabel Haldane's coven, like many accused groups during the witch hunts, has become a symbol of a troubled past. Their story reminds us of the power of fear and the persistence of superstition in shaping history. Now we explore the legend of the Witch of Yester. The ruins of Yester Castle hide the dark legend of the Witch of Yester. Her story, entwined with dark sorcery, casts a shadow over East Lothian.
Now we embark on a quest to unravel the enigmatic legend of the Witch of Yester, a tale steeped in the mists of Scotland's past. Deep in the heart of Scotland, nestled within the rolling hills of Yester, lies the ancient legend of the Witch of Yester. Her story is one that has baffled historians and intrigued storytellers for generations. The Witch of Yester is believed to be Lady Alice, a member of the Gifford family that owned Yester Castle during the 13th century. Legends speak of her powers that she was said to have harnessed through a dark pact with the devil. One of the most fascinating elements of the legend is the Goblin of Yester, a creature said to be created by the witch herself. This enigmatic goblin allegedly roamed the castle, guarding hidden treasures and causing mischief. According to legend, the Witch of Yester cast a spell upon the goblin to keep it bound within the Yester castle. The spell was said to involve a mysterious black stone that had the power to keep the goblin in check. In modern times, explorers and historians have ventured to Yester Castle, seeking to unearth the secrets of the witch and her goblin. The goblin's stone has even been recovered, adding to the mystique of the legend. The legend of the Witch of Yester endures as a captivating story of magic, mystery, and the enduring power of the human imagination. Whether the witch and her goblin were real or merely the stuff of tales, their legacy lives on in the lore of Scotland. And with that, we conclude our journey into the legend of the Witch of Yester. Stay tuned for more captivating stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and hit the notification bell. Remember, the world is filled with legends waiting to be discovered. And we'll see yous on the next one.